It was a Friday night in Manhattan, the city glowing with neon and unspoken secrets. My wife, Lauren, had spent almost 2 hours getting ready for my company's annual gala, hosted by Henderson and Wolf Investments. She looked breathtaking in a deep navy gown that framed her figure flawlessly. Her blonde curls fell perfectly over her shoulders, and she'd chosen the perfume she only wore when she wanted eyes on her. I stayed quiet while she admired herself in the mirror, convinced the evening revolved around impressing my boss. What she had no idea about was this. Ethan Wolf, the man she believed held power over me, unknowingly answered to me instead. Years earlier, I had sold my shares under a different identity, then secretly bought the company back through a private trust. Not even Ethan suspected who the true owner was. Tonight, I planned to see just how far my wife's loyalty would stretch. Inside the ballroom, New York's upper echelon chatted and posed. Executives, models, polished faces wearing ambition like designer clothing. Lauren clung to my arm, her excitement obvious. But the moment Ethan walked in, something in her shifted. Tall, polished, confident, his presence filled the room as if he were the one running it. "Jason," he greeted, tapping my shoulder, "and you must be the famous Lauren. Now I understand why you never stay late at work." His charm was smooth, but the way his eyes dropped to her chest wasn't subtle. Lauren gave a soft laugh, tucking her hair behind her ear, the universal signal every husband recognizes. I took a slow sip of my bourbon, calm while Ethan unknowingly walked straight into a trap he didn't realize existed. Throughout the night, he kept gravitating toward her, topping off her drink, praising her gown, leaning close enough for her to feel his breath. And each time, she rewarded him with a wider smile. She assumed I was simply being courteous. In truth, I was watching a test I had set in motion weeks before. 2 weeks earlier, I'd found late-night messages on her phone, all deleted by dawn. One was disguised under a fake contact. Tracking it had led straight to Ethan. After dinner, the music slowed to soft jazz. Ethan held out his hand to her. "May I?" he asked, briefly glancing at me. "Go ahead," I said evenly. Too evenly. Lauren hesitated for a moment, then smiled and took his hand. On the dance floor, they moved together far too comfortably. A hard, cold knot tightened in my chest. To outsiders, it looked like a charismatic executive dancing with an employee's wife. To me, it was my empire being treated like a toy. Halfway through the song, Lauren's clutch vibrated. The tracking app one had installed synced instantly with my watch. Room 707. Reserved. E. Wolf. I didn't react. I simply finished my drink. Later, I told Lauren I needed to step onto the balcony to take a call. From there, I watched her whisper something to Ethan before they slipped away, believing they were invisible. 15 minutes later, they entered room 707. I followed quietly, using a key card I had arranged ahead of time. Every detail had been prepared. The reservation, the cameras, even the chilled champagne placed neatly on the bed. Through the small opening of the door, I saw everything I needed to see. Ethan's jacket hit the carpet. Lauren's laughter, once beautiful to me, filled the room. I didn't interrupt. I watched just long enough to let the betrayal burn itself into memory. Then I closed the door and locked it from the outside. Back at the gala, I kept my composure. Board members congratulated me on hosting a flawless night, unaware of the storm quietly forming behind the scenes. The trap was set. At midnight, hotel security knocked on room 707 after a noise complaint. They entered, cameras rolling. Ethan's spotless reputation shattered instantly. Lauren's carefully maintained image fell apart with it. By morning, every business outlet had exploded with the story. Ethan Wolf resigns amid scandal. My lawyers ensured full ownership of the company returned directly to me. Lauren called again and again. I ignored every call. When she finally walked through our front door, her face swollen from crying. "Jason, please," she begged. It was a mistake. I wasn't thinking. I studied her quietly. "You knew exactly what you were doing," I said in a low voice. "The only thing you didn't know is who it was aimed at." She froze. "What does that mean?" she whispered. I handed her a folder, ownership records, legal documents, Ethan's resignation. My signature at the bottom of all of it. You thought he was my boss? I said softly. He works for me. Everything he touched was mine, including the company you just helped me take back. Her breath hitched. Her world collapsed in seconds. I didn't shout. I didn't break down. I simply picked up my suitcase. You didn't just betray me, I murmured. You reminded me that forgiveness doesn't belong to someone who loved the power more than the person. She sank to the floor, sobbing, while I walked away without once turning back. 3 months later, Henderson Global Holdings dominated New York's financial world. Ethan disappeared from the industry. Lauren filed for divorce, but left with nothing. Every asset had always been in my name. Sometimes I come across her profile online. She's a real estate agent in New Jersey now, looking older, emptier. Maybe she still replays that night. I do too, but not with sorrow, with peace.